Welcome to the series of database management system. We have already started with the unit number 2, that is relational model. Today we will see what are keys. A key is used for identifying the record uniquely. Whenever we create a table, in the particular table, we will be using a certain type of key, that is primary key, foreign key. These are the key which are used for identifying the particular row in the table. It plays very important role in a relational database model. There are multiple type of keys: super key, candidate key, primary key, and foreign key. Super key is a key which is either a single or a combination of attributes that can be used to uniquely identify the database record. A table might have many combinations that create the super key. Like for example, in this particular table, if you consider uh, this table, we will be having a student as a relation name, roll number is the attribute, and 11140 and Zen is the tuple. When you consider a super key is a key. It may be a single key or it may be a combination of multiple keys. But what is the aim of that combining key? The aim of combining that keys are that particular combinations should identify each record uniquely. So here in this case, what are the set of super key we can expect here? Roll number can be a super key. Uh, PRN number is a super key. And if we take roll number and name, PRN number and name, these pair can be a super key. Or in a worst possible case, what we can do, we can combine all three attributes for uniquely identifying the record. So here, if you consider the set of super key, it can be a 1 key alone, it can be a pair, or it can be a more than two keys. Like roll number and PRN number, they can be used as a single key, or roll number and name, PRN number and name can be used as a pair. And if we want, roll number, PRN number and name can be used collectively as a super key. Once the super key is identified, then we pick the candidate key. Now, what is candidate key? A candidate key is a subset of super key. It is also called minimal super key. In order to eligible for becoming a candidate key, the particular column should satisfy some criteria. Number 1, it must contain the unique value. Number 2, it should not be null. Number 3, it contain minimum number of field to ensure the uniqueness. Number 4, it must uniquely identify each record in the table. So when we consider a candidate key, first we will be having a super key. Out of the super key, we will identify what are the candidate key. And these candidate key are nothing but some keys which are picked from a set of super key. Like for example, for a super key in the previous example, what we have identified, the super key is roll number, PRN number, then roll number, name together, PRN number together, and all roll number, PRN number and name together. But if we identify, if we see these carefully here, roll number is unique because every student will get the unique roll number. PRN number, it is a permanent register number. It is also unique for every student. But when we consider a name can be a column which can be having a duplicate value. So, by using these criteria, if we identify what are the attributes which are eligible for becoming a candidate key, so we'll be having only two attributes, that is roll number and PRN number. So, here in this particular table, if you see carefully, so what are the column which are uniquely identify the every record? So, it can be a roll number and it can be a PRN number. So, we have selected these two particular attribute as a candidate key. Now, how the candidate key is different from a super key? Candidate key are selected from the set of super key. In the very first step, first we will be identifying all set of super keys, and then we will pick the keys from a super key which is satisfying these four criteria, and we will put these attribute under the category of candidate key. The only thing we can take care while selecting the candidate key is it should not have any redundant value. Redundant value means we know that it is nothing but the duplication of data. That's the reason they are also termed as minimal super key. If it can be asked like dash is the minimal super key. So what we can say, candidate key is the minimal super key. Now next is the candidate key are the minimal super key with no redundant attribute. So only these two sets are like roll number and PRN number. These two sets are eligible for becoming the candidate key from a set of super keys. Once the candidate key is identified, now our next step is to identify the primary key. Now, what is primary key? A primary key is the unique identifier for a record in the table. In one table, we can have maximum one primary key. The primary key in a table cannot be null. Primary key column should be explicitly marked as not null.